The U.S. President Joe Biden started the visit to Saudi Arabia as part of the Middle East tour. Biden held talks with the Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz as well as the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in As-Salam Palace in Jeddah. The talks tackled boosting bilateral relations and joint cooperation in various fields, as well as the issues of common concern. Earlier, Biden met the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the occupied West Bank. In a press conference, Biden said that the United States would not give up on the goal of a just settlement to the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians, reiterating support for the two-state solution. Meanwhile, Abbas said that there was a narrowing window for the two-state solution to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Russia's defense ministry said that the final document designed to unblock grain exports from the Ukrainian ports will be ready soon, following negotiations with Kiev and Turkey this week. The details follow.
Russia's defense ministry said Friday that the final document designed to unblock grain exports from Ukrainian ports will be ready soon, following negotiations with Kiev and Turkey this week. Russian Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Kononenko said on state TV that soon the work on creating a final document on the Black Sea Initiative will be completed. The Istanbul talks were held Wednesday and involved UN and Turkish officials. They were the first direct talks between Moscow and Kiev since March, designed to relieve a global food crisis. Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision to send troops to Ukraine in February has disrupted the export of grain from Ukrainian ports, worsening a food crisis around the world. Ukraine is one of the world's largest wheat exporters. Kononenko said Moscow's proposals had largely been supported by the participants of the consultations. He did not provide any details, but said the proposals were designed to ensure the transportation of food to foreign states, including to Russian partners. He also said Moscow wanted to prevent the shipping routes to be used for the supply of weapons and military equipment to Kiev. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres Wednesday called the direct negotiations a ray of hope to ease human suffering and alleviate hunger around the world.
North Korea slammed Ukraine for severing the diplomatic ties between the two nations after Pyongyang said it was formally recognizing two self-proclaimed pro-Russian republics in the east of the country. Ukraine said it was cutting the official relationship with the nuclear-armed state in response to Pyongyang recognizing the so-called Donetsk People's Republic and Lugansk People's Republic. The North's move come after another Russian ally, Syria, did the same last month. Russia recognized the self-proclaimed republics shortly before it launched the military operation in Ukraine in February the 24th. The Italian government officials said that the country might need early elections to overcome a political impasse after the Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi tendered the resignation in the wake of a mutiny by the coalition partner. The details follow.
Italian government officials said Friday that the country might need early elections to overcome a political impasse after Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi tendered his resignation in the wake of a mutiny by a coalition partner. Italian President Sergio Mattarella rejected Draghi's resignation and asked him to address Parliament next week to get a clear picture of the political situation. Italian Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio said that if unity cannot return swiftly to government ranks, the only alternative would be for an election to be called in the autumn, warning that an early vote would be welcomed by Russia but would damage Italy's economy. Draghi's 18-month-year-old government was thrown into turmoil by the populist Five-Star Movement, which boycotted a parliamentary confidence motion on Draghi's plans to tackle the growing cost of living, arguing that they did not go far enough. Critics say the party, which was torn apart by schism last month, was acting merely out of self-interest, anxious to raise its profile with voters following a slump in the opinion polls. The risks of political chaos has unnerved financial markets, with the premier Italy pays over German debt rising to a one-month high on Friday.
Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said that the United States agreed to increase the number of work visas for the Mexicans and the Central Americans during high-level talks in Washington this week. The Mexican ambassador to the United States said in an interview with a local newspaper that the visas for Mexicans will increase next year as a result of the Washington talks. He added that Mexico aims to boost the number of work permits every year. While in Washington, López Obrador called on the United States to allow for more legal work visas, but Biden only went as far as highlighting the existing programs used by the Mexicans and the Central Americans. Hundreds more people were evacuated from their homes as the wildfires blistered land in France, Spain and Portugal, while the officials in Europe issued health warnings for the heat wave in the coming days. The details follow.
Hundreds more people were evacuated from their homes as wildfires blistered land in France, Spain and Portugal Friday, while officials in Europe issued health warnings for the heat wave in the coming days. More than 1,000 firefighters supported by water bomber aircraft have battled since Tuesday to control two blazes in southwestern France that have been fanned by scorching heat, tinderbox conditions and strong winds. While temperatures dipped a little in Portugal, they were still expected to top 40 degrees Celsius in some places, with 5 districts on red alert and more than 1,000 firefighters tackling 17 wildfires. In Spain, the Environment Ministry said it was helping tackle 17 wildfires across the country. Meanwhile, the worst drought in over 70 years reduced Italy's longest river, the Po, to a little more than a trickle in places. Italy has declared a state of emergency along the Po, which supports about a third of the country's agricultural production, after facing its hottest July since 1800, with temperatures expected to rise next week. Officials are worried about the effects on people's health and on healthcare systems already challenged by the COVID-19 pandemic as the searing heat sweeps the continent, with warnings issued for worse to come in Britain in particular.
Back home, under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the 22nd phase of the We Are All One initiative continues nationwide to the end of July. The initiative was organized by the Ministry of Interior before the holy month of Ramadan and was extended until the end of Eid al-Adha. The initiative aims to provide food and non-food commodities to the citizens at slashed prices in coordination with the supply chains. The initiative has hundreds of branches, including key super and hypermarkets nationwide, as well as the Interior Ministry's outlets MN. The commodities are sold at a discount of 25 to 60% of the market price.